Government named Acosta alongside Nate Burleson, Peter Schrager, and Kyle Brandt. The guys, yeah, that's right. I don't have a middle name.
No,
so
that's
everyone
true?
will have to guess what the MJ stands for. I'll never tell.
I thought danger
you
was
can't
your
say
middle
it.
name. No,
danger. And we got a lot of danger to talk about in our Lead Block. Start with Dak Watch.
Okay.
The NFL's deadline to franchise tag players has extended to Monday. So for the latest on how this impacts Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, here's our own Jane Slater.
Hey, MJ, you are crushing it on the breakfast table this week. Hope you're having fun. And here in Frisco, we are monitoring this Dak Prescott situation. The Cowboys, of course, getting a couple of extra days based on that delayed CBA vote to try and get a long-term deal done with their quarterback. Here's what we know right now. They have at least put a proposal on the table since the Combine that has moved the guaranteed money number up. I was also told that the current deal as it sits is above Jared Goff's. Now, I also asked them to clarify, what does that mean? Does that mean that the average salary a year has gone up, or the years in length, or even the guaranteed money? Didn't get an answer, but here's what makes this situation unique. Most teams try and get this deal done a year or two in advance with their quarterback. The Cowboys are trying to get this done as Prescott's deal is expiring. Now, if they can't get something done, they, of course, have the option of the franchise tag. They can also let Prescott test the open market and then attempt to match that offer. But that, of course, is the least likely scenario. NJ, back to you and the boys.
Lady Jane Slater, your go-to for all Dallas Cowboys news. Thank you, Jane. And guys, if Dak Prescott decides to pull an Ezekiel Elliott and hold out this season, what should the Cowboys' contingency plan be for all of this?
It should be getting a free agent. I mean, there's individuals out there that could work in this system. You know, if they don't get Dak, then how about you get Teddy Bridgewater? I'm going to keep mentioning Teddy Bridgewater's name because I feel like he's the best available free agent quarterback out there, because he's a guy that proved that he can come in, take over a team immediately. He's been in enough systems where he can work within different quarterback schemes. So I feel like if they don't get Dak Prescott, they'll get Teddy Bridgewater. And you know what? Teddy Bridgewater will take care of the ball in that offense.
Well, here's what's happening. They're going to tag him, right? And then he's got the option to just not show up.
Yeah,
so if you franchise tag him, you're paying him 35, whatever it is, 33, 28. I don't know what the actual average will be, but it'll be up there once we see all these free agent guys sign. And then it's on Dak. And I went through the history books, guys. Honestly, I went through it. And I don't have a veteran quarterback in recent history who's ever held out. Like, I don't have one.
Because they get taken care of, I guess.
Jamarcus Russell held out as a rookie. Phillip Rivers held out as a training camp rookie. Kelly Stouffer back in '87 sat out the entire season because he didn't want to go there. But, like, there is not a long list. Now, other positions, we've seen it. I'm going to hold out. Quarterback is a different breed. So
rookies don't count. It's a different deal.
It's a different deal. Like, is Dak going? Like, Kirk Cousins played on the franchise tag. A lot of these guys don't want to be on the franchise tag. They play on it. Does Dak Prescott have the gumption? Does he have that in him to say, you know what, I'm not going to take $30+ million on your franchise tag because I need 5 more? That's the question. Like, is there even a discussion on this? Because no one's ever done it. If Dak is going to hold out from the Cowboys, my question is, what's the fallout there? Like, does the fan base finally turn on Dak, and instead of being his greatest defender, a lot of his diehard Cowboys fans say, you know what, dude, you're making more than $30 million a year and you can't show up to training camp because you want to make $35 million a year? I think the Cowboys have all the leverage in this thing because of the franchise tag. And if he's going to hold out as a veteran quarterback in the NFL, it would be a first in my history covering the league, and I just don't see it happening. I don't think he has any leverage to do that.
It'd be off-brand for him, too. I can't see him pulling.
But wouldn't you respect it more?
Totally.
I've been waiting for him to say enough with this. You guys took care of Zeke, and you won't take care of me. I don't know if he has it.
Took care of Jalen Smith last year as well?
I took care of everybody.
They might take care of Amari, to be honest. They might take care of Amari.
And then that's even more salt on the wound. So the question of leverage is, what I think Dak does have as leverage is, the Cowboys do not have Ryan Fitzpatrick on the team. There is none of that Josh McCown around.
Teddy Bridgewater.
No, and it's expensive. Here's the thing. I once said in the Cowboys' quest to make Dak take less money, to stay long, Cowboy for life, that Jerry Jones should have a slideshow and show Dak, here's Tony Romo, here's Troy Aikman, here's Jason, here's Michael Irvin, all stars for life after football, like Emmitt Smith said. I think Dak should have his own slideshow when it comes to getting paid. I think he should turn down the lights, and he should say, can anybody out there name who this is? Slide number 1. Tell me exactly who it is. Does anybody know who that is? Peter, do you know who that is?
I don't know who that is.
Cooper Rush?
Cooper Rush. All right? Cooper Rush. That is the backup quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. He's completed one pass in the NFL. It was for 3 yards to Ryan Switzer. And then the next slide. Next slide, please, Mr. Jones. Everyone not want to pay me. Do you know who that is?
I have no idea.
That's Clayton Thorson.
Oh, Northwestern.
He's in an Eagles jersey because the Eagles drafted him. He is now the 3rd-string quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. So Dak's like, You want to go to battle with Cooper and Clayton, and you don't want to pay me? Good luck, because the Eagles are loaded, the Redskins are building up, the Giants are... And you think you're gonna spend a whole bunch of money on a free agent? I don't see that happening. You got nothing. I don't see Brian Hoyer walking through that door. You can go 8-8 with him. You got squat. Pay me.
Well, okay. So,
that's my leverage.
All right.
Peter.
So the leverage there is that the Cowboys say, okay, you're really going to play that card.
Yeah.
Well, then we'll go sign Phillip Rivers or Tom Brady.
No, you won't.
Make a big run.
Tom Brady's not coming to you. He ain't done. And I don't think you're going to pay Phillip Rivers because he's going to be really expensive too.
Yeah, he is.
And I'm better. I'm Dak Prescott. I'm better. We had the #1 offense last year. I think that's an idle threat. I don't think that they're going to do that. And I don't think they're signing Bridgewater. I think Teddy Bridgewater costs real money, man. Like,
yeah,
real
but I don't
money.
think he's charging as much as these
Not
quarterbacks
as much.
are asking for. But I'll say this because we said, is there going to be a fallout? I don't think there's going to be a fallout. If Dak Prescott decides, you know what, I'm worth a long-term deal. Look at what I've done. Look at other quarterbacks that are getting paid and what they haven't done. I think people will respect that for the simple fact that he has been a company dude. He's been employee of the month every single month he's been there. He hasn't said one thing that has went against the machine of the Cowboys. And I think if he sits out, people will say, finally, Dak Prescott has stood up and stood for something. And that's basically how much he is worth. I think more fans will respect it than be disgusted by it.
Oh, he's that meme. I know my worth, and I'm adding tax.
That's what I'm
I like
saying.
it.
That's what I'm saying.
Elsewhere, NFL operations tweeted out some proposals for rule changes in 2020, notably the Eagles suggesting the use of an alternative to the onside kick.
Okay.
The scoring team would have a 4th and 15 attempt from their own 25-yard line. So we saw the league test this one out, the onside kick alternative in the 2020 Pro Bowl. But what do we make of this being implemented next season? Peter, could you set the table here?
It's fun. So we love the onside kick, but it's dangerous at times, and special teams guys have looked at it. So they tinkered with this at the Pro Bowl, and we can see some of the footage of that. What it is you get ball on your own 25-yard line, and it's 4th and 15, and you can make whatever you want of it. They ran it one time. Kirk Cousins threw a heave of a Hail Mary that got picked in the Pro Bowl. But instead of doing the onside kick, you get 4th and 15 on your own 25, and you can do whatever you want and make whatever you want out of that. I find it fascinating. I think it's exciting. I also have a place in my heart for the onside kick, but this is all in the name of health and safety.
All right, Peter, we got to protect the shield here. There's what I call a Dan Cortezification of the game, which I do not like, which means we're out there doing rock and jock and coming up with gimmicks, and it's Brian McKnight and DeBrat doing the... I mean, this is the NFL, all right? And here's the problem. The safety thing was an issue, so they changed it. And then the real issue was no one was converting onside kicks. It made it too hard. It was like less than 1% conversion, so what's the point? And then a funny thing happened. Onside kicks pulled themselves off the mat.
Falcons!
Do you remember Thanksgiving? Younghoe Koo, guys, converted 3 of these things. Now, one of them was called back for a penalty, but 2 legit, and then there was another one on the same day in the
I love when you
Lions
say
game.
2 legit with the Falcons.
That's what I'm saying. It's perfect, Peter. You don't. And normally you have to pray to get an onside kick just to make it today. But I'm saying it's almost if life finds a way. The onside kick was going to be extinct. And there was this brilliant renaissance. We're like, hold on a second. All you have to do is find a YouTube kicker and he can execute it. We don't need to have the 100-point basket. We don't need to have the 4th and 15. I don't think it's going anywhere, and I like it. I do have a soft spot for the onside kick. It's crazy when it gets that second bounce. It gets real.
You were a special teams player. What would you make of this?
Yeah, let me pump the brakes.
On
You
what?
can say pumps and the bumps here. Because when it comes to everything that we love about the onside, it doesn't happen as often as we want it. I feel what you're saying about this being a little rock and jock, but, you know, we like the rock and jock. Come on, man. Nelly and Boys to Men, they were legit.
Time and place.
Every time they stepped on the field.
Roger McDowell, that one, a kilt.
Nelly was the LeBron.
Nelly
the kilt.
was phenomenal. But
Forgot the kilt.
But what I love about this, though, 4th and 15, you get one shot. And on top of that, it's not really much pressure on the offense. It's even more pressure on defense. Like, if you're a defense in that situation, are you blitzing? Are you sitting everybody
Do you
back?
throw it to Dean Cain or Scott Wolf? I don't know which one it should be. They're both open. We can move the chain.
I mean, Superman was a beast.
That's what I'm saying.
But no, I do feel like this rule is cool because it puts the ultimate pressure on play calling in that moment. 4th and 15, this is where all of the coaches will bring out their best trick plays. So I would love to see it. I'm not that big of a fan of onside kicks, even though it is exciting.
And let me ask you this, MJ. Let's say a team is up by 2 touchdowns in a playoff game. It's a really big deal. They're up by 2 touchdowns. The team scores a field goal. They do the 4th and 15. They get it. They score again. They do the 4th and 15. They get it. They score, and they win the game. Don't you think that team that was up 2 touchdowns feels a little robbed by this gimmicky nonsense?
Yeah.
And we have come on.
They were slated a little bit in that whole scenario.
I
Never had
so.
But the onside kick is such a bizarre play in itself. It's not like that's a
Very
pure...
bizarre.
Well, when you're at that point in a game, everything is bizarre. I mean, they're trying to pull out whatever they can to make sure they get the win.
I also
but
like
I
the
don't know.
surprise onside. I hope they don't get rid of the onside. I like it in the start of the second quarter or something.
How about